You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Infinite diversity.
Live long and prosper, and welcome to Infinite Diversity, a Star Trek Universe podcast here on the BQN Podcast Collective. I'm your host for today, Chrissie, and joining me is my co-host, Thad. Thad, how are you doing today?
I'm experiencing all these senses for the first time. Like my body is new. It's kind of fun.
All right. Well, just be careful about that, and make sure that somebody teaches you about going to the bathroom.
Yeah, I mean, I
Also-
assume that must happen because they eat.
Well, right. Also joining us today is fandom meteorologist Katie Nickolau. Katie, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. It is a beautiful day, and I'm excited to be here with you guys in the air conditioning. Because
Yes.
nice thing about being a nerd and doing podcasts is that I have an excuse to not go outside in the heat. Yay!
There you go.
And how are
And
you
it
today,
is warm
Chrissy?
today. I'm doing all right. I keep walking through doors and seeing apartments from the 60s. I'm not really sure why, but they look pretty groovy.
Nice.
That's
have
just,
anything ready.
people that haven't bothered to redecorate in a while.
Yeah, there's those too. All right, well, before we jump into our topic for the day, we'd like to take a moment to thank our Patreon patrons who make our show possible, particularly our associate producer. Hello?
Hello?
Temporal portal
wait.
just opened.
Yeah. Oh no!
Hey,
Oh my
it's
God!
me.
It's Aaron J. Wilkie, the showrunner of Prodigy. Welcome.
Well, not showrunner. I am co-executive producer and co-head writer. I want to specify that. The Hagemans get that title and showrunner.
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Star Trek credit just went.
No, it's incredibly confusing. I just wanted to pop in and say hi, and thanks to the community for watching. I thought I was going to be on this podcast, but apparently that's maybe being reserved for a future date. So
Definitely.
I just thought I'd pop in with my coffee and say, hey, everybody, thanks for this podcast, for reviewing the show. And thank you, Star Trek fans, for you're such effusive, spreading the word about Star Trek Prodigy Season 2. It's been a delight to the cast and crew. This show has been such a love letter and a passion project for all of us for the last few years. And we're so glad that the Star Trek community is embracing our second season and our show as a whole so thoroughly. So, we just wanted to express our gratitude to everybody, and also, keep watching the show, keep encouraging other people to check it out. Maybe watch Bridgerton afterwards, with that Netflix account. And yeah, we're really grateful for all the support. And I think I just saw on Twitter some of the fans are organizing a pizza party for us, which is super sweet and
Aw, I
nice.
love
So it's been very overwhelming for us, but I just wanted to pop in and say, it means the galaxy to us Star Trek Prodigy crew, that the Trek fandom is being so kind about our show and is finally sort of giving it its due. So thank you. Glad to see you all.
Thank you.
Live long and prosper.
Yes.
One
Well,
of us,
listeners,
one
we
of
do
us.
plan to have Aaron on to talk about the show after we get done with all of our review episodes, and we're really looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's hard for us to, talk about the things that we don't like or say, oh, this sucked.
Those
It-
exist?
the guy who
Yeah.
wrote it is right here, so we'll wait until after, because,
I really would have
That's
done
fine.
it this way. They did it this. That's just our usual discussion of things, which is also
This
Yeah,
so
as
critical
long as
often.
you say everything was great, and whenever Aaron wasn't around, all the characters should be standing around saying, "Where's Aaron?"
There you go. There you go.
No, I plan on for
All
the
right,
next
that-
however long we're recording just drooling over this, so no worries here.
All right. Well, enjoy the episode. I think for a lot of us in the writers' room, this episode is there in Beauty No Truth was one of our favorites of the season. So I hope you all feel the same way. All right. Take care. I'll leave you to it.
All right.
Ta-ta.
Thanks again.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks, Aaron.
Bye.
Talk to you soon. Right. Okay. So that was fun. Listeners, we are going to have, as we said, we're going to have Aaron on at the end after we've talked about all the episodes. So teaser there. Stay tuned. And now I guess we'll get into our episodes. All right. So today we are talking about the second batch of 5 episodes of Prodigy, starting with Imposter Syndrome. And going right up to, if this were airing like the other ones did, what would probably be the mid-season finale.
Ordinarily, I
planned to be.
think they wrote this episode about me, but I don't think I'm qualified for them to have done that.
Ha! Oh, dude, you're telling me.
I was thinking the same thing. Same thing. They did a wonderful job with the titles
Yes.
on these.
Yes.
Just like,
And
I
they
mean,
were so
yeah.
Star Trek-y.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
sometimes, you know, that you just get these titles and you're like, wow, I really worked hard for that one. But all of these, like, they made sense, and they had the Star Trek flair to it, and just,
Mhm.
And there's a
man,
The only thing
and
missing was the
I
Latin.
also love how many of them are puns, because we're also going to be talking about the Fast and the Curious this
Yes.
episode.
Yes. All right. Well, let's start this way. Katie, how are you feeling about? You know what? I didn't ask you before we started recording. You have seen the whole season, right? And you're
oh, I have.
Okay,
Oh
okay.
my gosh, yes.
Just-
Dude,
Oh, Thad said that,
Chakotay.
yeah.
They didn't have to make him that hot. I'm just saying. But they did, and I appreciate it.
I've kind of taken myself off Twitter, so I know you were tweeting about it. Thad said, and then I forgot. So I am
Yeah, no, you're
batting
good.
1,000 today. I'm just
So-
like right on it.
So are you Team Beard then, Katie?
I am team Silver Streak.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care
Mhm.
what else is on his face. As long as he's got that, it is hot. Which, that was funny because I was telling my parents, I was like, yeah, no, Chakotay, they made him like really hot. And my mom just goes, isn't it animated? I'm like, yeah, it is.
It still look
That
good.
doesn't matter.
Still look good. Yeah.
I took a second, I was like,
All right.
oh gosh, she's right.
Animated characters can still be hot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I don't know if either of you, have either of you, sorry, this is a side tangent. Have either of you watched Has
Oh, we
Been
don't do
Hotel?
those.
No.
Seen what? I'm sorry.
A Has Been Hotel.
Oh no.
It's an animated dark adult comedy musical set in hell, and it's on Amazon
I love it.
Prime. It has
All right.
306 swear words, I think, like hard swears in 8 episodes, but the whole cast is Broadway. And they
Oh,
have like
wow.
these amazing songs, and like it's my latest hyperfixation because it's the Has Been Hotel. I saw a bee hotel, and so now it's the Has Been Hotel, and I made all the characters into bees.
Nice.
Long story
Nice.
short, watch that show because it does have some really hot animated characters too.
Gotcha.
All right, will do.
My tangent closed.
Yes, that's all right. Okay, so we did a spoiler warning at the beginning of the last episode. We are going to be talking about these in the context of the whole season. So if you haven't seen the whole season, pause this, watch the whole season, then come listen to us. And while you're listening to us, just let Netflix keep running.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
that's it.
Especially have Netflix start showing other shows, because that's one of the big things they look at is does it bring people in to watch other things. So yeah, maybe throw on Bridgerton or Under Paris, or if you want to make it look like you're watching the same sort of thing, Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is also
Oh
a
my
great
gosh,
show
yes.
and has hot people in it.
Yes. Boomy. No, see, like
All
for
right.
sure, Prodigy into Avatar: The Last Airbender. That is a great night.
All I'm
If you do
saying
that.
is I can fix Azula.
Yeah.
I haven't
You're
seen this yet, so
broken. It
I'm
makes
just
it more
gonna...
entertaining to see the chaos unfold.
I have so much television watching to do. Okay.
That one's been out for like
Wait, you haven't seen Avatar?
15 years or something, Chrissy.
Yeah, well,
I
I
grew
mean,
up with it.
no.
Oh, wait,
Yo!
way to make me
You're a
feel
little younger
ancient.
than me.
Uh,
I shelved the books on which it's based when I worked at the bookstore. How about that?
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know it
Yeah.
was based on
Wait.
books, actually.
Oh, no, were they the graphic novels?
Mhm.
Those are adaptations of the episodes.
Oh,
It's the one
it has been
form
more
of
than
media that I
15
know
years.
is actually created book content from the show. And there's a lot of content, too.
cool.
I mean,
They even
Star
have an
Trek does
RPG
that, too.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, there's lots of things I haven't seen. We've had this discussion. Anyway.
Yes.
Um,
But you've seen Prodigy.
I have seen Prodigy and I love it. So Imposter Syndrome starts out with that fake out. You know, the classic, like, oh, here's something happening, and then we're going to jump back.
Mm-hmm. Star Trek doesn't do that
Yeah.
all that often.
No, they
No.
don't. I was trying to think of other examples.
There
I feel
is,
like it has happened
one.
before.
There's one
Yeah.
that just blares in my mind because it's one of my favorite episodes of Trek, and it's Voyager, and it's Worst Case Scenario,
Yep.
where it starts out with Seska's back, and, like, the Maquis are taking over the ship, and now it's just like, okay, cool. They aren't just, like, bringing Voyager into the show. They are using Voyager and are like, let's get inspiration from it. Even if it wasn't that. I'm just like, they're tethered because they both like the cold punch to the gut. What's happening? Openings.
Yes, I totally. I was trying to think of one in that. Yeah, that's it.
I mean, that one's not technical, because it is still
'Cause it's a-
technically linear time based on, like, it is still, like, everything that happens in the episode happens
yeah.
after that. But yes, it is the same sort of thing. I'm trying to think if Star Trek, because, like, it is definitely a trope that you see in other shows, but I'm trying to think if Star Trek has ever done the
Here's
show
how I got
something
here.
Yeah. Record scratch. You may be wondering how this all happened.
People are shouting at their podcast players right now. They'll tell us.
It was this.
They will.
Mm-hmm.
So we have classic, oh, we figured out some information and we don't want to ask to go deal with this information. So we're going to, as Dahl says, it's better to ask forgiveness than permission,
Yeah.
which is par for the course with these. What do you think about this whole idea of making holograms to cover themselves?
It sounds like something kids would try to do.
Yeah.
Like, if you could have a replacement, you've seen it in other shows too, where it's like they build little robots of themselves or something or other. But this, I mean, if you have the tools, might as well make it
It's
believable.
the 24th century version of putting a bunch of clothes under your blankets.
Yes, exactly.
It's Ferris Bueller's Day Off. This episode is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Yep.
I do like, though, the implication that Janeway, when they were rebuilding Voyager, was just like, you know what? No, we're going to add holo projectors on every deck, in every quarter, like cruise quarter. We're going to do this so the dock can get around, is what I like to think. She was just, like, telling them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then we find out that they also did that on Voyager when they made it a museum ship.
Yes!
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's probably become a standard, maybe because of the EMHs.
Yeah,
And
the
also
EMH
other
and then
stuff.
and also the ECH and all the
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
E blank H's that probably exist.
EEH, the Emergency Engineer Hologram.
Yeah, well,
Ah,
we
there we
know
go.
from Picard on Rios' ship there were
Oh, yeah.
the every
Yeah.
kind of EH. So yeah.
Yeah. Might as well.
Yeah, I gotta rewatch Picard. Now that, and it's a perfect segue from Prodigy into Picard at the end.
Yeah,
Of it.
because everybody wants their kids going straight from Prodigy to Picard.
Oh, gosh. Oh, no. No.
Oh, that's gonna be a running thing here. All right, so they create these hollows that are so good that they mix them up with themselves. And all of them, I think this was a great example of how their different personalities dealt with this stuff.
Mhm.
The fact that the two Rock Talk holograms went, how can we fix this together? Put our two brains together, and I just love that, showing the personality there. So
I liked how it just made Jankum have an existential crisis.
Yes. No, it kind
'Cause
of
who
reminds
hasn't
me,
had that?
like how in real life, if you find someone who's very similar to you, and like either your personality or like especially your personality, sometimes you can turn into like rivals, or other times you're like best friends, and it kind of shows how that can happen, but in cartoon form in an easily digestible sense for kids.
Mhm.
Even if it's not like at the
Yeah.
forefront of the story, it's like that's still there. Like, how would you react if you had a copy of yourself?
I would be
Yeah.
thoroughly frustrated with the copy of myself.
Yeah.
As would I. As would...
I just keep coming up with crazier things for us to do, but that's what I naturally do for myself.
Yeah. Oh, all I can think is like, okay, so I could have my duplicate do the stuff that I don't have time to get done while I'm doing the other work that I have to do.
Yeah, but why would your duplicate do that?
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly.
This was the
Uprising.
plot of a series of Calvin and Hobbes strips.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and then we have Miguel continues to be a wonderful addition to the group by distracting the doctor, asking about his singing.
So
Cool.
I have a question about Miguel, because
Mhm.
I keep going back and forth on this in my mind. Is Miguel's hair just really shiny, or is there like a dyed white thing in the front of it?
I was wondering, we should have asked Aaron.
Oh my god, we should.
All right,
Yeah,
put it
tweet
on.
him.
Make a note for when we have him on. I assumed that was dyed,
Yeah, like
as illogical as it would be.
it's like I keep going back and forth. Like sometimes I think it is, and sometimes I'm like, oh no, it's just shiny. But then also the tips of her hair are also white, which makes me think it more likely that it's dyed. Or maybe it's that the tips are dyed, but the front of her hair is just shiny.
Maybe it's a biological recessive gene trait along their family's bloodline.
That's also possible.
I actually,
Accents of
I
hair.
yeah, I went to school with a person who had a birthmark on his head, and he was brunette, except for that one spot where he was blonde.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe.
No, that's my brother has a wizard streak, where it's like silver hair embedded within his normal
Cool.
brown, and I think he was like cursed by a wizard when he was a baby. Is like the going story with those things. But I'm like, dude, you got something really cool.
I've got a couple white hairs in my beard, and I'm gonna think it's something cool and not just me getting old.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, no comment.
I'm 27. I don't have to worry about that. Yay.
Oh, I had gray hairs at 27. When my
The
sister
tornadoes
was
keep me
very,
young.
yeah. When my sister was very, very little, like had just learned to walk, which she did at a younger age than she should have, because I didn't know better than to not teach her how to walk. When she got mad, so like she's just around a year old, she'd get mad and she'd start crying, and she would bash her head against stuff.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Ooh.
Which ended up causing her to have a little ridge in the middle of her forehead. Okay.
Ooh.
So we always joke that she was part Klingon, and she just runs with it, and it's just so
Nice.
you can't see it, but if you know it's there, you know, that's just It's my sister's part
Fascinating.
Klingon. Yeah.
Imagine how much
Anyway.
smarter she'd be if she hadn't done that.
She's
I'm
pretty
sorry, that
damn
was a
smart,
terrible
so I'd
thing
be
to say.
scared. No, that's all right. That's all right. We always worry. That joke has come around, believe you me. But yeah, it's just funny. Note to anybody listening: 7 months is way, way too young for a baby to be walking.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you
Huh.
got her doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Did you
Because I thought that
actually
was...
like teach her, or did she just emulate you?
No, I made a point. I had a little bar, and I walked around with, as soon as she like could stand up, and I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, you should start walking." So I had a little bar, and she
Oh.
would walk with me holding onto the bar.
Huh.
And I really shouldn't have done that. So
Yeah, no,
Interesting.
because then you don't want them to be that ambulatory and able to get into things
No.
that young.
no, nope. Anyway, digression. So yeah, Miguel's hair. Her haircut is very illogical with the like stringy bits down here. I'm doing this like people can see what I'm talking about, the little behind her ears. So I just like, she just died too.
She's in
Yeah.
her
No,
rebellious
not.
phase.
Yeah, I think they definitely
Yeah.
are dyed at the end of the stringy bits because they are
For sure.
white, but I'm just not 100% sure about the front. That triangle thing in the front, whether it's dyed or just shiny.
It doesn't change shape.
No,
Right.
but that could be the animated,
So
like,
that's the style. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I think
Although,
I
one
didn't-
thing I will point out that I think is a really cool little attention to detail with the animation is how, if you look at the characters' uniforms, the comm badges are not always perfectly straight up and down. Depending on the way they've moved, it actually
Wow.
rotates a little bit. And I think that's a really cool little detail that
Nice.
they probably didn't have to do, but makes it just a little neater.
Yeah.
You and your uniform attention. I love it. I did not notice that at all. That's fantastic. So they figure out how to figure out which is which by just turning off the hollow emitters. And then when they come back, their personalities are all mixed up.
It's a little creepy with the personalities mixed up.
It
It
is
is, yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
At Comic-Cons, you always get people asking questions like, if you could play another character, what character would you want to play? It's like, this is kind of their version of that. They just got to play each other with the slight change.
Yeah,
like that.
I think it's wild that they still, like, are the character they look like, because but they have the personalities and voices of the other characters.
Yeah.
That's
So, like,
some serious
Jankum
help,
in
right?
Rock Talk's head is, like, speaking as Rock Talk in the third person and stuff like that, and I think that's just amusing.
Yeah.
It's different than the other body swap that
Mhm.
we've seen where people know that they've body swapped.
Right.
Yeah, and I love that. And I hadn't actually put it into those words until you said that. Now, oh yeah, that's not usually how it is.
But it
Makes
is
sense.
the only way for them to... But in this case, it was good, because it helps them avoid detection slightly longer.
Slightly,
Yeah.
just a little. Right. Oh, so because this is a children's show, we don't end up dealing with one of the things that I think would be top of the list if it were other Trek, which is the sentience of these beings.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. Are these actually, sentient versions?
I
Should
was
they be
half
turned off?
expecting the Doctor to, like, go into that.
I kind of was expecting that
Yeah.
too, and I think again, it's just the nature of the show. This is not what it was about, and not something that we're gonna handle.
Yeah.
Yeah. The same way they kind of wave the Doctor off when there's like, oh, there's no sense, but the Doctor's okay,
Yeah.
So
Well, they still
I guess
have
technically
holograms.
he's not a synth.
Yeah, they still have holograms in Picard, even when they don't have
Yeah, they do.
synths. Which I always thought was weird and doesn't make a lot of sense, because how is a hologram that much different from a synth fundamentally?
right.
And sort of exposes why the no synth rule was dumb in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess because you could just, if the synths,
off the
if
hollow emitters.
holograms started to do what was done on Mars, you could have just shut down the hollow emitters.
Yeah.
I think that's probably
Pull the rug out
difference.
from under them.
But I had the same thought. And it's, I guess, but then again, if holograms did what was done on Mars, they probably would have thought about how to stop people from turning off the hollow emitter.
Yeah, true.
Did you ever read the Voyager relaunch novels?
Many years ago, but yeah.
The first couple, have a B story. Like, they have the A story of, like, the Voyager coming home and also, like, a secret Borg
Mhm.
takeover. But the B story is a holographic insurrection, and it's kind of cool.
Mhm. All of
Ooh.
the Mark 1 EMHs are mining dilithium or something.
Right,
along those
so, like,
lines.
they
Yeah.
lead, like, a big insurrection of all holographic, like, servants and assistants and whatnot throughout the Federation, and it becomes a whole thing.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Mhm. It's an interesting story.
There's a lot of weird stuff that happens in those two books. The first two books of the Voyager relaunch. I think the Voyager relaunch really takes off several books later when Kirsten Meyer takes over. That's when they get really good.
Mm-hmm.
But those first couple have some weird stuff in them.
Yeah. But yes,
Good to
so
know.
books, yeah. So then that brings us into the next episode, which is The Fast and the Curious,
Yes.
which is one of those wonderfully just, we're going to have a random episode about a thing in the middle of our story just because we're
Well,
doing that.
they just got the new Kazon DLC for Mario Kart, so they had to...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now I want that.
I know, right?
I want Star Trek DLC for Mario Kart. Yep.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine?
That'd be so cool. I love Mario Kart. Anyway.
Well, there's Star Trek DLC for World of Tanks.
Cool. That's something I've
Didn't know
played.
that.
Yep. Actually, for some reason I did know about that. I think
We talked about it a
maybe
couple
you
months
told me
ago
about it, yeah.
in the news segment. Yeah.
That's right. All right, so they find a Borg transwarp conduit.
I love that those are still just laying around.
Yeah.
I don't remember them having a physical component in our space before. Like before, it
I
was
don't
just like an empty area of space until they sent the right sort of signal into it, and then they
Oh yeah.
pop into it. So I thought that was interesting.
That might be the kid show element,
Sure.
maybe. Yeah.
Or like in a more unstable region of space, it has to have a physical supplement to keep
That
it.
could also be.
Yeah, that's
We
true.
can ex machina our way out of all.
Oh
of
yeah,
this.
for sure.
Absolutely, yes. It's
Oh yeah, I wasn't saying this
They need
ruins the
Stargate.
show or anything.
No.
it's perfect except for the transwarp conduit hole. Yeah.
Except for that conduit.
So what did you guys think about just throwing in a random computer tries to take over the universe?
It
Story
wouldn't be
in here?
Star Trek if a computer's
Yeah.
not trying to take over the universe.
You gotta have that story.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of very, very, very Trek stuff in this. I think more than the first season
Mm-hmm.
to me.
Yeah.
And I love it. That's great.
Well, I feel like compared to the first season was trying to establish a world of its own. And now that
Yeah.
we're in that world, they get to play with all the parts of it.
Mhm.
And it just makes it seem like they're branching out into more and more now that it's established that this is Prodigy. What else do you want to see, Voyager?
Yeah. That's good stuff. So they're forced to race to pay for their use of the conduit. I thought for a moment that we were going to see the Borg again when that thing grabbed onto them.
Oh yeah,
Because
that's what Zero
Yeah.
said too. Yeah.
oh good, it's the Borg.
Delightful.
I also liked when they were approaching the Borg, the transwarp conduit, and Zero says, "That looks arresting."
Yeah.
They have some of the best lines.
It's so much fun.
So did this remind you of episode 1 at all too of Star Wars?
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I'm like,
Pod racing.
Get the
Yeah.
pod racing going.
God, my brain's not working.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
And more like that thing, connecting with kids in that way.
Mhm. Who doesn't love a good race?
Well, yeah.
I personally have always thought that episode 1 is actually a decent movie.
It is. It just wasn't what everybody wanted.
Mhm.
It wasn't what many people wanted. And Jar Jar is annoying, but
Everyone has a Jar Jar in their life. That's why. So.
And if you don't have a Jar Jar in your life, that's because you're the Jar Jar.
Exactly.
hopefully the Jar Jar in your life does not undermine the functioning government. That's all I'm going to say there.
Yeah. What?
I mean, he
These
doesn't
days.
in episode 1.
He doesn't in episode 1. That's true. It's not in episode 1. So they have this race. We're got to win the race. They find out that their opponents are robots, and then it turns out that there's the Kazon are being controlled by this evil computer who wants to create perfect pilots and then we don't know why, but I guess we can assume universal domination or something, right?
I mean, maybe. I think it almost feels like not necessarily. The computer never talks about universal domination. I feel like it's just a sort of situation where the computer is taking its programming to, which is another standard Star Trek thing. It's taking its programming too literally and going, and has gone out of hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was meant
I
to
guess that's
train
true.
pilots. Just get trained them really, 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 really well.
I didn't think about it not having an ulterior motive. That's
Yeah.
funny.
It's
Yeah.
just confused, like the rest of
Yeah.
us.
Sort of like, like Nomad or other things. Like, it's not necessarily evil, it's just following its programming in a way that we don't want it to.
Yeah.
Yes.
To a fault.
Yeah. The way Word does when it tells me that I'm misspelling something when I'm really not.
Or when you try to do any sort of page formatting.
Ugh. Yeah. So Zero rams into the computer. It totally messes up his suit, in part because he has to pull away from the computer's got tendrils that are grabbing onto them. And that thing that it gloms onto Murph almost looks Borgy. So I wonder
Yeah.
if
Definitely.
there's
Well, they're
influence there.
in a transwarp conduit, so
Right.
I do wonder if perhaps it has adopted some Borg tech or was partially
Makes
created
sense.
from Borg tech, which may have been part of what happened, what went wrong in the first place.
Yep.
I do appreciate how they gave Zero the hero role in this episode. Because they're just... Zero is such a good character. And almost like Zero feels mature. And I appreciate them kind of taking that and giving them a hero spot.
They do feel more like the adult of the group, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
For
Like,
as
do
much
we know
as
how old
we
Zero
understand.
is? Because they're like eternal.
Right. I mean, is Zero a child in Medusan terms? Is that like...
Is there
Baby
such a
Yoda
thing as a child
you?
in Medusan terms?
Yeah.
They just blip into existence fully formed.
Yeah.
Season 3 answers
That's
all these
awful,
questions.
Yeah, definitely. So that's...
Memory Alpha does not have a birth year or even a conjectured birth time for, like, a birth year range for Zero, so we have no idea how old they are.
Huh.
And that makes sense. I mean, think about, like, and we'll come back to the comparison with Data in the next episode, but Data's been active for what, 20, almost 30 years when we meet him, and he's still, he's still very childlike in a lot of ways.
He's just a baby.
Yeah, so I think we could probably say the same thing of Zero, even if they're 1,000 years old or whatever. So, just not influence, experience. So we get a little touch of the odd behavior of the holograms. That scene in the mess hall. Dirt water.
Yeah. Oh my
I like
dirt
gosh.
water.
Janeway just rolls with it. I'll take my dirt water.
With all of the drinks that are out there in the Star Trek universe, I'm sure she's gotten, I'm sure there are people who are like, no, you can't drink. Coffee's terrible. You should never drink coffee. And she's gotten shit from people about it,
I'm sure, like, she's run into Bashir and he's like, you should try Rectigino. It's just like, I need pure earth coffee.
She is a bit of a purist on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Earth coffee.
Yeah. I like it.
Greatest in the galaxy.
Right, so we have that wonderful scene in the mess hall, and then Majel notices that Gwyn is glitching, which is so interesting because the real Gwyn was glitching, and they actually worked that into the holo program. And she follows her, and then we have this wonderful moment of everything stopping, and it's wonderful and terrible at the same time. And it's
You're like, what is happening?
Yeah. we don't know it's the loom yet, but it's the loom, and they're trying to take Gwyn because they think that she really is the time glitch, however they put it, which I've written down on another page. But yeah.
Yeah, and that's interesting that, like, we don't see the loom in this. Like, later the loom are, like, all over and they see them coming and such. And in this case, they don't, which is interesting.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, because do we hear the noise in this one, or is it only on the playback?
We do hear the noise. We hear the noise. I don't think they hear. I think time is already frozen by the time they hear the noise.
Yeah. So that's interesting. We'll get more into the loom as we go here, but I think it's I love the concept of screwing with time in that way. When we find out in the next episode that it was 8 minutes, I really the X-File part of me was really disappointed it wasn't 9 minutes, which is like really really dumb, and a reference that has nothing to do with anything, but like it's so close. You could have said 9. It could have been 9. Whatever. Could have had somebody going 9 minutes. For those of you who didn't memorize the first episode of X-Files, that's from that. All right, let's get into the next episode, which is, I think this might be one of my top 10 Trek of all time in terms of how it is put together and the ideas behind it and all of that. Is there in beauty no truth?
First off, love the title.
Yes. Excellent connection.
Excellent riff and connection on the TOS episode, Is There in Truth No Beauty?
Yeah. So, Zero is waiting to get their suit fixed. I have issues with the idea that they might be kind of visible to the people on the ship, but I guess we'll pretend that's not an issue.
The screen's cracked, but it's not. But it's still all there. I think that is, or window. I guess
that's the explanation. Yeah. Window. Yeah. So we have this log from Zero. They're talking about how the group is looking for Chakotay. They've tried to fix their suit. We see duct tape. We see Jankum playing with it. It's beautiful. And then they get this telepathic message from another Medusan. I almost said telegraphic.
Well, maybe that's how they communicate telepathically.
Maybe.
Dots and dashes.
So it turns out that there is this planet that's full of non-corporeal beings who are able to use what did they say? It was the rings dissolving into the atmosphere that creates a way for them to create bodies for themselves. We get a name drop of the Paxons and the Calamarain.
Nice.
Fun. Yeah. I think Deja Q is always a good episode. I think you probably could, if a kid asked you like, what's Calamarain, you probably could show him Deja Q. You know, it's like it's a good episode.
I loved Deja Q as a kid.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just it's goofy and you can understand it.
Oh, very
as
good.
A kid.
Eat any good books lately?
The idea of wanting 10 chocolate sundaes and then realizing that you cannot consume 10 chocolate sundaes. I mean, he doesn't even try, but still, it's every kid knows that. Like, I want all of this. And
I have never seen anyone order 10 chocolate sundaes.
So, this planet allows them to do this. There's discussion of whether or not the group should even follow up on this. Later, we see Dahl making a point of thanking Gwyn for reminding him that you can't be too focused on the mission and lose sight of what your people need, which I absolutely love. So, Zero gets a body.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they don't tell them everything. And
no. And I see another mistake.
I have in my notes
him,
here.
Not him.
If I had a nickel for every Star Trek episode this year that involves a ceremonial race where the stakes aren't revealed to the characters before they start, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a
was
lot,
gonna
but
say.
it's weird that it happened twice.
Zero's body, like having a body, I naturally, the viewers listening can't see it, but I have the Witch's Broom Nebula as my background, which is a very cotton candy, bright blue and bright pink, which is what I love about Zero's design. And so the color shift in the character is like, okay, cool. I'm sad because those colors are gone.
They're still there in their eyes.
In their eyes.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I was just like, okay, it's fine. I'll just find another celestial being.
It's only
to
for a
compare
little
it to.
while.
I
so
do
it's
think
okay.
it's interesting that they all went with green skin. Like, that is...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Maybe
I
it has to do
realize
with
this-
the biological composition of a body on that
Or
planet.
maybe it's what
Whatever's falling from
Medusan, prehistoric Medusans before they ascended into non-corporeal bodies looked like.
ooh. That's
Or they all subconsciously are just like partially
But
colorblind and
no,
only
because
choose
not
green.
everyone there is Medusan. Some of them are Calamarain, etc. So, I wonder.
I don't know. I did think they kind of look like the blue guys from Avatar,
Yes.
which was a little
the
distracting
Na'vi,
to
yes.
me, and yes, thank you, the Na'vi, and a little too on the nose maybe for people who knew the reference, but that's okay.
They don't have tails.
No, they don't.
True.
They've got like head. I don't know, with that hair or whatever going on.
One thing I find, like, thought-provoking, I should say, is
Mhm.
it's interesting that that all of these non-corporeal beings choose to have bodies when in pretty much every science fiction thing that you have seen, including other Star Trek episodes, non-corporeal is seen as an advancement from having a body. Like, the next step, the improvement. And it's interesting that that in this episode, all of them see it as better to go into a body.
The grass isn't always greener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the skin is greener on the other side of the fence.
Yeah, true. That could have been an episode title. The skin is greener on the other side.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, I think that's a wonderful thing to show, particularly people that are being introduced to the idea, because then later on they're going to be watching and going, well, wait, what about this? And and it gives them something to ponder. I hadn't thought of that at all. So we hop over to Voyager. We get the group playing, the Hollow group playing Parisi Squares. I think it's the first time we've ever seen Parisi Squares.
Yes. I had that noted as well. Finally, after 35 years or so, get to see what Parisi Squares looks like.
Yeah. And I don't know, it seemed like it should be a lot more dangerous. I always felt like it was something that involved a lot of, like, I don't know. I mean,
well, no, because you
Maybe
always...
they're playing the cadet version.
Yeah, it should be. I feel like it should be more dangerous because that's like a whole thing with Parisi Squares when they bring it up that it's dangerous. Like, Future Imperfect, Riker gets real mad at his fake son for playing Parisi Squares because that's dangerous.
I think it's like the difference between a Nerf battle and a paintball battle.
Well, and doesn't the doctor's daughter die?
Yes! That's right.
Yeah.
The doctor's daughter does die from Parisi Squares. In real life.
Right.
Yeah. In fake
Not
real life.
the episode real life.
Yes.
Not like...
Robert Picardo had a tragedy. Yeah. Well, in looking at it, there's squares. It looks like racquetball, but with moving floor tiles. And in one,
you get your foot caught
of the
under one.
scenes, that's what I was going to say, because in the scene where Jankum is saying, "Oh, that was a lot of fun, we should do it again," there's a tile that is coming down onto another tile. So I'm wondering if part
They
of
can get
the
smooshed.
danger is getting smooshed. Yeah. I don't know, but I love it. I love it. Finally get to see what Parisi Squares is.
I would love to see them take an adaptation of that into real life, like Harry Potter, how you have Quidditch, an actual Quidditch.
Yes.
Like for Star Trek Las Vegas, set up a room with Parisi squares.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like you could probably just do a like throw a racquetball court into a parkour course or one of those
Yes.
one of those things with all the trampolines. That's
Oh
all the
gosh,
rage.
yeah. American Ninja
God, how
Warrior
old am I?
course.
That's all. It's all the rage for the kids.
Oh yeah.
Over here and drinking my chamomile tea. Okay. Yes. So this reveals them, and then the doctor figures out that it's basically they did what was in one of his Hollow novels, which I'm betting is where Zero got the idea in the first place. And I kind of love that because the way. What'd you guys think of how they did the animation on that? Because you can hear it in his voice, but the animation matches it beautifully when he has that realization.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
So they shut them down. They are able to find and revive holographic Gwyn. I guess find her in the computer.
Yeah, I
now
guess.
that they know she's there. Yeah. And then she has this like absolutely terrible experience of hearing the loom and like they have to shut down the program again. That was scary. That was actually scary.
It was, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It touches on like the horror side of Star Trek that sometimes it does like lean into of, oh, we don't know what this is. Oh, this is really.
Yeah. The noise reminded me of the alien abduction episode of Next Gen. I'm forgetting my titles today.
Schisms.
Schisms, yeah.
Yes.
Except that was more of a clicking, but it did remind me of that. So we're left with that kind of, what's going on there, and they find out that's when time had paused for them when the Loom were going after Hollow Gwyn. And then we head back over to the planet with Zero, and Zero is just loving having a body. This is where we can put in all of the, well, no, let me get there first. Getting ahead of myself. Did either of you ever read the novel Metamorphosis? The
No.
Next Gen novel. Okay. It's mid to late 90s. I think it was after the show was over. And it's a fantasy kind of thing. Data comes across this, like, for lack of a better term, I think it's a witch, a sorceress in this cave on an away mission who grants him a human body. And then he has to figure out how to be human. And it's really good. It's
I don't have any recollection of this, so I must not have ever seen it.
It's good. It was the first giant novel or the second giant novel or something. Remember when you may have seen on some of the covers.
The first giant novel was Vendetta, so it's
Vendetta,
not that.
Right. It said a giant novel. That's what it was. And it really, like, comparatively speaking, I think it was like 400 pages. So right for the time. But yeah, it's really good, and it's this whole thing with Data trying to figure out how to be human, and yeah. So everybody go read that after you're done listening to this. Yeah. So that's actually, I need to make a note of that for when we talk to Aaron. So they have this Feast of the Senses, and it's very much a G-rated version. Okay, we made the joke about, watch some Bridgerton after you watch Prodigy. But one thing that hit me every time I watched this was in different circumstances, there would be, naked people in corners. I love that. I kind of love that that's not the case Obviously it wouldn't be because it's a kid's show, but also, my dirty mind does not need to always be activated. It's just, all I could think of was the on Discovery, the Orion strip club.
Oh.
Right.
See,
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh yeah, no, if it was between like that stuff or food, I'm like,
Yeah.
food.
Food.
Why not both?
Yeah, there you go.
This gets messy.
And,
Yeah, just
food,
you know,
series of.
just one big, hedonistic pleasure room. We're full of food and sex and everything else.
I'd be
Yeah.
the one in the corner just like,
Rome.
and I'm gonna have some hot fudge, and I'm gonna have, what are you guys, wait, I'm gonna
No,
have
yeah,
some of
mhm.
this, and I'm gonna have some
Yeah. Wallflowers of the world unite.
Indeed.
Yes.
Or not. But I do love this idea of this feast of the senses, and we've all had that experience of getting to something wonderful the first time.
Oh yeah.
This is the best thing I've ever eaten. This is the only thing I've ever eaten. But then they just keep going. And it's wonderful and it's relatable even to the smallest child, I think.
Man, you're making me already super looking forward to a few weeks when I'm in Vegas and I'm gonna be hitting up a buffet.
There you
Nice.
go. There you go. And the last part of the feast is the running of the Nazamon. I have issues with having a giant feast and then a marathon. But that's me.
Yes.
Aren't
You're
you
setting
supposed
them
to
up
wait?
for
and then the giant
failure.
feast.
Aren't you supposed to wait like 5 hours or 3 hours or it's half an hour? That's it.
Yeah.
Before you go swimming.
Oh right. Well, I would assume it also works for marathons.
Well, I don't know. I'm sure at some point in your life you've had a big meal and then ended up having to go do something manual labory, and it just turned your stomach into like a knot. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know if. Oh
yeah.
yeah, and you feel sick, and so that was all I was thinking there. I'm like, okay, so they're feeling fear, but they're also feeling nausea, which is, that's fun.
I'm sure it's fun for someone.
Yeah, I mean they were reveling in it, so why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think of the Nazamon? The entities themselves.
So, I found it interesting that they say they spend eternity in. So, like, I guess their bodies don't get digested. They just are now stuck inside a Nazamon forever.
That's what I was wondering too.
I didn't think about
Yeah.
that.
Because they're non-corporeal, right? In
Right.
essence.
Right.
And we know from later, because Zero goes back into their non-corporeal form.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
right.
So why couldn't they just remove themselves from the body and then go back and...
So they may not be able to remove themselves from the body until the body is destroyed.
Oh,
Mm.
I didn't think of that.
So
Okay.
and they talk about how the body is regenerated by this planet, so it may be some sort of where they're just it's
Hell.
like some sort of Promethean situation where they're just constantly stuck in a half-digested state and their body just heals.
That would be. Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
That's dark. Okay. I didn't even think of it that way. Well, good thing that Doll and Zero are able to climb their way out.
Right.
Yes.
What do these things eat the rest of the time? They look like whales that like scoop up kelp or something. you
filter
know?
And that's
feed the pollen
basically
from
how
those
they're
flowers?
feeding with the flowers. But yeah, like I guess there's other places where the flowers are naturally in the air.
Oh, maybe. Because they have to call them in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I liked that. I could see it coming, them getting scooped up, but I liked it. So they have to tell Zero about the fact that they've not really been lied to, but information was withheld, shall we say?
Mhm.
A couple of times, not just about the body, but also about what the running of the Nazamon really was. And so we have this wonderful group moment where they all decide they have to take care of their colleague, their friend. And then Zero has to make this decision of whether or not they will stay or risk their body degrading. I mean, I didn't expect that they would stay,
Yeah.
but there's a moment.
That would have been that would end up being a problem later, since we know that Wesley needs all of them.
Yeah. It's like backtracking.
I mean, that could have been a whole thing. Like, they show up at that planet, and Wesley's like, "Oh, where's the 6th one? You need to go back and get them." And then that becomes part of the story.
See if they had a 15 episode
pesky run times.
Yeah. Oh well.
They would have had to give up the Tribble episode to do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think this is, like I said, this is top Trek for me because it's got all of those elements. And
oh yeah,
and
for
it's
sure.
Just beautiful.
I like it.
But you know what else is top Trek?
What?
The 2-parter that comes after this.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Particularly
gosh.
in that it's a 2-parter, but also leaves off on a cliffhanger.
Yes. An actual cliffhanger hanging over a cliff.
Oh God, I didn't even. Yes. True. Okay. So they get to the thing that they have been trying to go toward, the coordinates where they think that Chakotay and the Protostar are going to be, but there's nothing there, and it turns out there is an out-of-phase planet.
Oh my gosh, out of phase is like, I've been working on this fan fiction since, I want to say 2013, that little kid Katie came up with, that has to do with it. It started with Ensign Rowe and Geordi LaForge being out of phase, and I just, as soon as the planet was out of phase, I was just like
I love it.
So, we should mention the title of the last episode was great. This title also feels extremely Star Trek.
Yeah.
The Devourer of all things, which is a quote from The Metamorphosis by Ovid.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Oh,
Go
I
you
should know that. I had to
looking
read
that
that
up.
in
I didn't
college.
even try to
I
look.
cannot take credit. Aaron Waltke told me that.
Still. And what did I say? They were missing the Latin. They're not missing the Latin. They just translated it.
Right.
Oh, I love it. I have to read.
Yeah,
Ovid.
the devourer of everything, and you hateful old age. You destroy everything, and bit by bit you consume all those things which have been mangled by the teeth of the passing age.
Time.
Huh.
Yeah, so it's about
there's
time.
another level to that. It's about time, and it's about aging, and it's time is the
Aaron, you clever bastard.
Yeah. No, I seriously, I sent I sent a message to Aaron.
Generations,
on Twitter. I had messaged him, and I was just like, dude, seriously, at Star Trek Las Vegas, I need to buy you a drink, because the amount of times I like screamed watching this. It's not technically relevant to our episode. It's in the next few episodes.
We're bouncing around.
About.
Yeah, no big.
Yeah, but I said I've been texting Charlene Schmidt because we were watching it around the same time, and in one of the episodes, I can't remember exactly which one. It was when they were in that arena with the loom, and and Captain Janeway is like, I'm gonna go and talk to her, and I took a screenshot. I put, Catherine Margaret Janeway, you get back here right now, or I swear to Spock I will lose it. And then the next picture is her curled up on the ground. I was just like, God.
That's beautiful.
Like the reactions that these episodes pulled for me, because that wasn't the first time I had screamed. This episode with the reveal, I screamed.
Yes. So did I.
Yeah, I was actually, while watching this, because we had access to the press screeners for the podcast, I was messaging back and forth with Aaron while watching it, because there were very few people I could talk to about it, and I knew he was one.
Mine got messed up, so I couldn't watch them when Thad did.
Right.
No.
That's all right.
No, I can only imagine what my parents thought, because I was I pulled a full on David Tennant Doctor Who. I was like, what?
Yes.
I had to explain myself when I took my break 8 hours into the binge.
Yeah. What is going on? So we get the Wesley reveal, and this is not, it's of course not Chakotay's location, but a traveler temple that has statues of the Eric Menuet character, or the people that look like, because we never did get his species. We just always call him
statues
the
of travelers. And
Yeah.
interestingly, when we see those statues, we hear some audio clips, and it's actually a conversation between Wesley and the Traveler about the current unraveling timeline situation, and they got the actor back for that.
Out of retirement.
Yes.
Which is ridiculous.
Wonderful.
Trek has a way of doing
wonderful.
that.
Yeah, so they pulled back Eric Menuet for this, and yeah, that is it's like how Lower Decks last season, and I cannot remember her name, brought back the actress who played Ceto Jaxa.
Yes.
Yes. I can't remember her name either. Yeah.
And similar to Eric Menuet, she had been retired from acting for years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, it makes it so much easier when you're asking them to do a voice record.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
and that's one of the wonderful things about animation. You know.
Exactly. You
It
never
does make me
age. You can bring
wonder-
back anyone, no matter their physical state. Like,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing.
It makes me wonder if Avery Brooks would be willing to lend his voice to something, even if he didn't have to act, you know, or if he didn't have to physically show up.
Oh.
I
I
am
want that.
very amused at Katie's face when you said that.
I go full Galron eyes when I get really excited. So I'm just like,
I love it.
Mm.
Because you know he doesn't act, and it's not like he just doesn't do Star Trek. He doesn't do any acting anymore, as far as I know.
He's basically retired from public life in general.
Yeah, he's
Yeah. But that's, you know, makes me wonder. Just
Because like
Hey, if the right story
into the
comes
universe.
along.
he didn't even want to do anything for the DS9 documentary a few years ago.
Yeah, which was sad. I feel like there's a story here that we all don't have, and it may not have anything to do with Trek. It may just be something in his own life.
I think the fact that he's basically retired from no one hears from him anyway. I think it's more than just Trek. I think it's just he wants to be left
done
alone
with society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which can be relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally get it. And you know, Sirach Lofton can play older Ben Sisko is fine.
Yes,
There
yes,
you
he
go.
can.
Play of age Ben Sisko and then older Ben Sisko.
Yeah, now.
Yeah. And what's his face is still acting. Tony Todd, he can come in and
Yeah.
yeah, it's all good. Anyway, so what we're saying here is we need a sequel to DS9.
I mean, I've been saying
more
that
than
for
what was in Picard.
I've been saying that for the past
last 30
25 years, but you know,
Yes.
yeah.
Many have. Many people have. Anyway, so we get the reveal of who the mystery messenger is, and it is Wesley Crusher, who looks really
Anyone
ragged.
cold? I have lots of sweaters.
I love that. The only thing that was missing was that sweater he was wearing was not stripy. You know. That's,
No, but it is one of the sweaters he wore in season 1.
It is. Yes.
That's
Yes, it
cool.
is. So, I mean, they did
Before
do
he
the
became the
reference.
acting ensign, when he was still
Yeah.
just a civilian. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, sweaters galore, yes.
Well, when he pops on screen, you get that immediate shock factor of what? Oh my gosh! And then you just hear the performance, and Will Wheaton is having the time of his freaking life doing this. The exuberance, the giddy joy that you can hear in his performance. That's not acting. That's IRL Will Wheaton. I love it.
I will say,
Just like in Picard.
I am sad that since this is not on Paramount Plus anymore, we are not getting a Ready Room.
Could you
episode for
imagine?
this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe they'll be able to do something at some point, and he can discuss all of the background on it. But I love that it was him. I love the fleshing out that we're getting of the Travelers
Mhm.
and the connection with, of course, the Time Wars and
Mhm.
Temporal Wars, excuse me. And we need more of this. Please, 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 please.
Yeah. Well, and topic-wise, it is still a very advanced topic. You are talking time travel, temporal wars, all this stuff, but in the same the same wrapper of a kids show. And I was thinking on this how, yeah, if you're a kid watching the show, you could just be like, oh yeah, no, there's like time travel, yay, I'm focusing on Murph or Rock Talk. Like, as a kid, you have selective attention. And as an adult, we tend to think more of the whole story. Yeah. I mean, I still have selective attention, but that's just because it's Chakotay's arms. Anyway, gosh dang, we could talk about that for hours. But no, you, as an adult, you tend to glob more onto the story as a whole. And so using the temporal veil of things, they've managed to attract in both adult viewers and kid viewers while using one theme. And that's really good writing.
Yeah. It's wonderful. Just like with the Doctor in the first episode of the season, Wesley requires explanation for people who don't know who he is, and so we get this wonderful moment of Rock totally fangirling
Yes.
over him. The Wesley Crusher?
Genius of the Enterprise D?
Yes.
Acting ensign at 15? Which makes perfect sense that she would know about Wesley, would know about would know the examples of let's say, for lack of a better word, child prodigies in Starfleet. And
exactly.
And I love that. And it made me wonder what his Starfleet file says after. Like, he just left, because like it's not like the Travelers should be open knowledge. Of course, we were talking about this yesterday. I don't know, in a previous episode with Majel knowing about the Bell riots being a temple incursion and all of that. So maybe they're not as quiet about things as I think.
Yeah. So also, I like the line when Dal says when they're like, leery of him because he's spouting a word a minute and not completing his thoughts and whatnot, and I can relate. And Dal says, "Is there a supervisor we can talk to?" And he's like, "How do you know about the supervisors?"
Yes.
Yes. I mean, again, this is fan service done right, because for those who know what it is, fantastic. For those who don't, they're like, supervisors, okay, whatever. In context, it's fine. It's and it's just, it's so good. He says something that, okay, here's where I'm having a little bit of trouble with this, and it's not because of this show, but it's because of my own brain. I have connected this. Katie, did you read the Coda trilogy?
I haven't. I haven't read it yet.
Okay. Are you aware of what happens?
The storyline? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So like, I've headcanoned this, intentionally or not, into this being very much part of Coda. Okay, because we know that Wesley was trying to pull on all of the strings, and there's lots of stuff that we didn't see because there's all these other universes and so he talks about, he has a line after the Temporal Wars, there aren't many of us left to repair timelines. And I can't for the life of me remember if that has been mentioned elsewhere on screen or if I'm thinking of something from the novels. But I swear there is a mention of this somewhere.
Does he maybe say something about it when he shows up in Picard season 2 and recruits Corey? I can't remember.
Maybe, or maybe Kovich says something that I'm, glomming together here, but that's an important thing too, because it makes, we know the Travelers are more important than we thought, and this just continues with that. So, and then he starts explaining the different universes again in a wonderful way that like kids can understand and adults can appreciate. Prime, Mirror, the Narada incursion, Fluidic space, and the mycelial plane, but you're not supposed to know about that.
Supposed to know about
Yes,
that.
Dan!
Yes.
Forget I said that.
This is the second time the Kelvin timeline has been directly referenced in Prime Timeline Star Trek.
Yep.
because
Yep.
Kovich
Both-
talks about it in Discovery.
And they both refer to it in reference to the Narada.
Mhm.
Although I don't think Kovich says Narada, he just says a Romulan ship.
Romulan mining ship, yeah.
Mining, yeah, okay. So I like Narada incursion as a better than Kelvin timeline. I might just start calling it that.
Well, it makes it does make sense. I mean, Narada, because the Kelvin was part of that timeline. It was supposed to be there. The Narada was the thing that wasn't supposed to be there. So it does make a certain amount of sense to call it the Narada incursion.
Yeah. And then he starts explaining about the cosmic scavengers who feed on all the dying timelines, and he calls them the Loom.
Yeah, and they're very and this is where we definitely get into Coda-like things, because they're very much like how the Davidians are feeding off alternate timelines in the Coda trilogy.
Fascinating.
I love the I love the name, the Loom, because he talks about how it's all these strings that can get pulled, like your favorite sweater, and then.
And I
again,
mentioned
sweaters.
in our last episode that this is giving me some thoughts about the MCU series Loki, because that also deals with alternate timelines and has a loom in a very different context. But yeah, it's very, very interesting. Some nice timey-wimey stuff happening here.
Oh yeah. It just thankfully Wesley didn't end up turning into a tree and holding on to everything at the end of this.
Yeah.
So he's very careful, or they're very careful to have set it up in such a way that the other timelines are not, for lack of a better term, delegitimized, if that makes sense. Other than the mycelial plane, because you're not supposed to know about it.
Yeah.
But
well, that's not really another timeline per se.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
true.
It's
That's
like
true.
a different dimension.
Yeah.
Reality.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's definitely not a different timeline. People who think that Discovery is a different timeline, let me just be absolutely and utterly freaking clear about that.
Yeah.
I highly doubt any of them are listening to our show.
I doubt
yes.
that too.
Yeah.
But he's very much saying, this timeline, I have to keep this timeline together. This is my timeline. This is where my mom lives. That was
My
so
mom
sweet.
lives here. It's like,
It's just so
"Aw."
beautiful.
Which also, the second he mentioned that, I was just like, they gotta write this wrong.
Yeah.
Pull
It's
Quantum
Chekhov's
Leap.
Beverly.
Sam
They
Beckett
got
rips him out of time. He's like, go see your mother.
Okay, and this is getting ahead of things, but this is another thing that connected it with Coda for me, because there is this absolutely gut-wrenching scene in Coda where Wesley is just watching Renee die. And Renee is the son that Beverly and Jean-Luc had in the novels. And he says something like, I wish I could have known you better, but you just weren't meant to be. And it's just, it is absolutely gut-wrenching. And so in the last episode, when she introduces him to Jack, and we get that little tiny bit, and it's just like, oh, it's meant to be this time, and it's okay. And I just, I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah, that scene in the book is so
Chrissie, stop
good.
trying to make me like the Coda trilogy.
Sorry. I like it. I have my issues with it, but I think it was the absolute best way they could have wrapped all of that up and turned it into something that was completely Trek without turning it into Star Wars Legends and pretending it's didn't exist. Anyway,
I just think they could have ended it without destroying the timeline and just establishing it as a separate timeline that, flies off into the sunset.
I will give you that. But on the same token, if it's all Gabriel Bell's imagination anyway.
Benny Russell.
Why? Jesus H.
Because we were talking about the Bell riots earlier.
It is because we were talking about the Bell riots.
We're getting real close to those, by the way.
There's
Have you guys been looking at the date?
Oh, yeah. Coming up.
The way that everything is going, I'm wondering if there was a traveler who came back to the writers.
The Supreme Court said that you're allowed to make it illegal to be homeless. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
It's getting
get those sanctuary
freakishly
districts
close,
going.
y'all.
Okay. Yeah. So if it all was in Benny Russell's brain, then none of it's real anyway. Right. So
It's real to me. It's
it's
real.
it's real to me. It's here. Yeah. I thought I had a decent night's sleep. So the loom attack, and everybody gets paused except Wesley and Gwen. Wesley's Traveler. He also is wearing an armband, I think, but she's got the armband to keep her in the particular time. So he's got a stash of temporal stabilizers that he has to go get. So they go running through the corridors of the temple until he finds the magical opening to what appears to be a Jeffries tube full of his stuff. Did you read that as a Jeffries tube?
It kind of looked
Wondering
like
if
one, yeah.
maybe
Just a
Okay.
secret hiding spot.
Mhm.
It would make sense if it was a Jeffries tube, because it's like, yeah, if I was on the Enterprise and I was a preteen/teen, I would totally
Yeah.
just find like an unused Jeffries tube and like use it as a time capsule.
Well, that's where you go to play music
Hey.
and make out.
And if your Boimler sleeped that one time.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that's right.
They seem cozy. Mm.
Yeah. So we've got in this hidey hole, we've got what looks like a uniform, and maybe not a cadet's uniform, but it's the gray and black with a comm badge on it that's all folded up neat. There's a bunch of books. There's what appear to be what I'm sure are not takeout containers, but they look like takeout containers. Maybe they are. Bunch of computery kind of stuff. A couple of phaser rifles, maybe. And then on the other side, there's what looks like an old-fashioned gas can, like the red with the yellow top, and a bunch of bottles of maybe water. I don't know, and other stuff. But what gets me is there's a ship hanging from the ceiling. Okay, and
Mhm.
the nacelles look like the Enterprise E, but the rest of it looks like the Enterprise D, kind of. And it wouldn't make sense to me for him to have the Enterprise E up there.
Maybe it's a ship in a bottle and he got
that
a
is the
defective one.
It does look like the it's unless it's no, I think it's Voyager. Voyager
That would
A.
make sense.
Oh.
Yeah, because
Okay.
because that does have nacelles just like the Sovereign class.
Yes. Okay, that makes sense then, because of course that's relevant to the moment
Yeah.
in time. Okay. Cool. Glad I worked that through. Oh, thank you for coming along on that little journey.
Yeah, because looking at all this stuff, it's all current
Mhm.
stuff. It's not like memories. It's all because the Starfleet uniforms are the uniforms from the Protostar.
Yes, of course they are.
Yeah, and those are the current phaser rifles, etc. So yeah, this is all like
Yeah.
stuff related to his current thing. It's not like his memorabilia.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't even go there. Okay. Cool. I love full of Easter eggs more, I'm sure, that we didn't
Mhm.
see. Somebody will say. So he has the all of the stuff. They get the temporal stabilizers. They get back to the group, glom them onto everybody, and then they have to run from the loom, and they end up in Gary Seven's office.
Love this.
Yes.
I mean, just yeah. The only thing it was missing was the cat. I would have loved
Isis,
it if
yeah.
there was just a cat. I mean, it wouldn't be Isis because Isis was in on what was going on, but just
I mean,
a
I
cat
always
hanging
think
out.
that the only thing that's missing is a cat. So yeah.
Well, this is
Oh,
true.
yes.
This is true. And the tiki thing he was drinking out of, that was beautiful. I'm sure it wasn't intended as such, but it made me think of those old Think Geek Star Trek tiki glasses
Yes.
that you could get. So, and they
Oh,
had him
R.I.P.
drinking
Think Geek.
mango juice, which is, again, if this were a regular Trek, not kids Trek, it probably would have been like a martini or something, but I still like it.
Hmm.
And there were no ashtrays. That was the
That
other
makes
thing.
me think of
Yes.
Red Dwarf mango juice.
Okay, maybe that's supposed to be a reference then.
Because the the theme for Red Dwarf when they sing like the I could not sing the entire theme of Red Dwarf, but one of the lines is sipping fresh mango juice.
Okay. Cool. See, I hear mango juice and I think of the Eddie Izzard bit about losing his virginity. Do you ever listen to Eddie Izzard, Katie?
No.
That I'm sure you have heard. Yeah, you know the one. Okay. Look up Eddie Izzard Dressed to Kill. Okay. It's from the late 90s. Fantastic. And he does this whole bit about how he lost his virginity a year before he lost his virginity. And he wakes up in the morning and he's making breakfast. And then he goes, freshly squeezed mango juice. And there's a whole thing. It's funny. Anyway.
Interesting.
Yes. Very random, and not George Carlin, who is usually the comedian I bring up here.
Love George
I feel
Carlin.
like you bring up Eddie Izzard pretty often, actually.
Do I? Okay. That works. They're both up there. Like Mark Maron would say, they're my guys. So, yeah.
I mean, Eddie Izzard's not one of your guys anymore, but yes.
Eddie Izzard is one of the generic
I mean, Eddie
we need a
Izzard...
better word for guys.
Yeah.
as a non-gendered term.
I mean, I use guys as, like, I'll say, hey, you
As do
guys.
I use it.
And,
Interchangeable. It's a non-gendered phrase nowadays.
Making a reference to the fact
yes.
that, yes, in the 90s, when that comedy special was made, Eddie Izzard did identify as a man, but Eddie Izzard
now
is...
identifies as a woman.
Yes.
Yeah. But yes, I meant that in the generic non-gendered way.
Yes.
And yeah, I feel the need to explain WTF and Mark Maron right now, but I'm not going to. He would ask comedians. He's like, which Saturday Night Live cast is the one that you watch, and who are your guys? Meaning, who are the comedians who inspired you? And it was not gendered when he asked.
I feel like that answer is usually whatever the cast was when you were in high school.
This is true, because that is exactly who it is for me.
It's the same for me.
Yep. So, right. So they escape into Gary Seven's office. We get all the fun there. Like I said, it's missing alcohol and ashtrays, but that's fine. Those weren't going to be in there anyway. And then we have to basically wait there until the loom leave the temple or get far enough away that Wesley can get back into the temple to do all of his calculations, which then leads us into the next episode. And we find out that the loom not only destroy a person as they are, but remove them from existence.
That's a horrible way to go.
Memories and everything.
Which is, again, just like Coda.
Yes, and Remember Me. Him with his warp bubble.
Yeah.
More it was accidental in Remember Me, but
Yes.
yeah. But another reference in another episode that you could show a kid without too much trouble.
You can show a kid pretty much all of TNG.
Yeah. Exploding heads aside.
Yeah.
Although, as we said,
Skip seasons 1
I have no concept
and 2.
on that.
Start with 3.
I mean, I would generally tell anyone you're introducing to Star Trek to do that anyway.
Yeah.
Like, once you're into it,
exceptions.
then go back and watch. Yes, and there are like Measure of a Man, etc.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
There are fantastic episodes in season 1 and 2, but I would never tell someone who is trying to get into Star Trek to start with TNG season 1. No.
Well, and I said it on our Star Trek and Chill stream the other night. Prodigy, I think, has the best season 2 of any Star Trek I've seen. It hits the ground, not even just running, like sprinting. And it has just bang, 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 so many good episodes. It doesn't have, like, shades of gray. There's no shades of gray. So it's like, oh, yeah, no, this has to be, like, if not the best, then at least one of the best.
Yeah, I would put Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds up there as well.
Those
but
two,
yes,
they're
I
close.
agree.
Yeah. I think Prodigy gets a little bonus because they gave us 20 freaking episodes, and it's just like, finally.
And there's also recency bias. So.
Yeah.
True.
Yes,
Oh, there is.
Yeah. But
20 episodes gives you at least a double time bonus.
Yeah, so we hear that the loom not only destroy a person, but all memories of them and their existence and all of that. Which we then see in action with Tysus's away team.
Yeah.
Which is rather chilling.
Just a bit.
I like the connection because with him and Miguel, and the idea that for people who know about the history of Vulcans and Andorians, the idea that he's saying he's going to protect her is a hugely important thing. And for those who don't, it's just there.
I would imagine by the 24th century there's a little less of that.
Oh yes, of course, but there's
yes.
still it's the background. You know me. Go deep in the history as needed. But yeah, I love that, and I love that she just goes completely off book. Like, no, I'm gonna throw off my comm badge and just go, try to rescue everybody and figure out what's going on.
I love Miguel.
She's fantastic. Yeah.
She's a character that was necessary to even out the group.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Dynamic wise. Yeah. Zero's logical, but also, not to a fault. Whereas Vulcans can be. And so it's nice to add in a little extra seasoning.
Yeah. And applying the logic in different ways. Like here. She has this, for lack of a better term, psychic bond with Zero, which translates into a phone call in the office, which I adore.
That's great, yeah.
Anytime you got an old phone on a rotary and a cord, it's just nostalgic. Wesley's gonna let her go, but Dahl rescues her and brings the loom to them, essentially.
Which was the reason Wesley didn't want to let her in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So they are able to get out of the office. They escape to the temple. Voyager distracts the loom, essentially, and the loom go after Voyager. And they're just eating people, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Do you think those people got back when the timeline was restored? I hope so. I guess we don't know.
I hope so, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah.
We need season 3 to find out.
Exactly. So then we have Action Janeway, #Action Janeway. Why did she need to, strip down to a tank top to get into the shuttle? I don't know, but that's fine. It's awesome. Janeway arms.
I love it.
Buff.
I totally would. I would just be like, you know what? If I'm going to be piloting a shuttle, I don't want to be wearing this thing.
Tank top badass Janeway is the best Janeway.
I cosplay that Janeway.
Absolutely.
I'm probably
cool.
bringing it back for Star Trek Las Vegas if I can find a way to get the phaser there in one piece without being arrested. So taking a phaser through the TSA isn't a fun thing, guys.
Oh. You'd think context, they open a bag and they're like, okay, Star Trek uniform, plastic fake gun, going to a Star Trek convention. Oh, okay.
Well, it's like I'm putting it in a rifle case and I'm plastering on it cosplay.
It should actually be fine.
There's Kate Mulgrew's autograph on the butt of it.
Also, they would be able to, they would go through their scanner and they would see that, it doesn't have anything inside it that would, make it
doesn't even have a hollow shooty bit.
Right. Yeah.
It's not even a water gun, for God's sake.
Exactly. Oh, I should have made it that.
And I assume it is in your checked bag, right?
Yeah, that would
will be a checked bag.
Yeah, because I would not try to take that in a carry-on.
Yeah, no. No, that should be fine. I can't imagine it. Not. You know what? Worst case scenario, find somebody in Vegas you can ship it to.
True, yeah.
And he'll ship it back. Yeah.
There's actually a FedEx office in the Rio that you can ship things to.
Good to know.
There you go.
We'll
Note
see
to
how much
anyone
shipping a
listening
phaser rifle is.
who's worried about that. Yeah.
I
Well, it's probably
used
pretty
it
light.
1 year to
Yeah.
ship home a box full of my dirty laundry so I could fit all the things I bought in the con in my suitcase.
Nice.
Done that. Yep. Done that. All right. So we have Action Janeway. I think this is wonderful. I like how she jokes about how she's kind of older. You know, it used to be easier to climb out of a broken shuttle. But I like seeing, I like the portrayal of, you know, of her in action in that way, as an older woman, as the one who is in charge of everything, and, you know, just representation and all that.
Exactly.
So Wesley's doing his crazy calculations, tells them not to look at the time stream. So of course Dahl looks at the time stream.
Of course. Why wouldn't he?
Right. I don't know that I
How?
couldn't either, but
Well, it's like Ghostbusters. Don't look in the trap. I looked in the trap, Ray.
don't
Mhm.
cross the streams.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So Dahl sees this situation where, you know, he's essentially handing a captaincy to Gwyn, which we see at the end, and is not at all in the context that you feel like he thinks it's in, or yeah, because he doesn't have the whole story.
Yeah.
It does end up being true, though.
Yes, it does. It
Yeah.
does. And it's a bit of growth for him, because he comes to that on his own, and he comes to it with an understanding, as opposed to it seemed. I think he reads that as being forced on him, maybe. You know?
Yeah.
So then we have Majel comforting Zero about what was going on, and this is how Wesley figures out that she was the missing piece. And then yet another callback to the Davidians. They have to go through this time portal that kind of looks like the one from Time Zero.
Oh.
Yeah. I do think these are intentional connections, but
oh, sure.
Well,
I don't think I don't think David Mack was a consultant in season 2, but I'm sure he definitely brought some of his knowledge of the books he wrote when he was consulting in season 1. So yeah.
Yeah. And do we know if any of the major, Aaron or the Hagemans are readers of the novels?
I have no idea.
We'll
don't
have
know.
to
ask.
But Aaron is a big enough Star Trek nerd that I would be shocked if he hasn't read some of the novels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was my thought too. So.
And I would imagine, in the same way that all the writers get the scripts from the different shows, I would imagine they also get the stuff from the novels.
Yeah, probably at least a synopsis, just to make sure that it doesn't.
Especially because there was that
connect,
there's the whole thing where they're trying to keep the novels and they're trying harder now to keep the novels and the shows in line with each other than they did in the 90s.
Yeah.
The shows will still contradict the novels when they want to, but that's, their prerogative.
Yeah. When it's episodic, you can just throw in more episodes and it's it's fine, but right, so Wesley sends him through the little gateway, for lack of a better term, and he holds off the loom. The planet is either destroyed or returns to being out of phase. We know Wesley survives it, so whatever happens. And then we find the protostar and Chakotay.
And Silver Fox bearded Chakotay.
Yes, there you go.
Oh
Silver
my
Fox,
gosh,
bearded
those
Chakotay.
arms! Ah! Golly, that was impressive.
Well, he's got time to work on his fitness.
Yeah, it's not like he has anything else to do.
Yeah.
True. I appreciate them.
I think they did a really nice job with him, and then we'll of course get into more of it with the upcoming episodes. But yeah, they finally find him. And that brings us to the end of the ones that we're talking about today. Any thoughts of, well, usually comments, questions, sarcastic remarks is how I usually end my classes. Anything we missed? Anything we wanted
I
to
think
talk
we
about
covered it all.
beyond that?
Yeah, I think. I will say, there were a couple lines I liked.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoyed when the doctor, the doctor is threatened by the loom, and he says, "Take 20 milligrams of vengeance, you otherworldly tyrant."
And it does seem to be taken aback for a moment by whatever he sprays at them. It's like,
Yeah.
what's that?
It reminds me a bit of that scene in First Contact when the doctors
Yes.
they use the EMH to slow the Borg down. He's like, research indicates that Borg implants can be a severe skin irritant, perhaps an analgesic cream.
I love that scene.
And actually, I think this was in part 1, but when they're trying to fight the loom with phasers, and Zero says they seem unfazed.
Yes. That was beautiful. I was just like, perfect. Perfect.
I'm just a fan of dirt water because I call it that too. I don't do coffee at all.
And when Wesley's explaining everything to them, and they say, "We're walking paradoxes," and Wesley says, "Yes, but you should really be running paradoxes."
Yeah.
Another good one. Yeah. The writers are really hitting it out of the park with this. I mean, it's not just with the concepts, but one-liners like that. I mean, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. Well, final thoughts on this series of 5 episodes.
Gosh, I hope they get a season 3. That's all I keep thinking.
I honestly, I think this 2-parter might be my favorite part of the whole season. The Devourer of all things.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
It's just fantastic. This is beautiful Star Trek. I am so glad that we finally have a chance to see it, because there was a real probability that we never would.
Which I would venture, I would probably have been like, all right, I'll get a job at the company so I can find it and do a Deadpool leak because the world needs to see this. Just kidding, but still, the thought was there.
We heard nothing.
Nothing at all.
No, nothing.
Can you also grab all the film reels of DS9 on the way out so that someone else can scan them and release it in HD?
Okay, then.
Cool.
Oh, God. Because the entirety of the Paramount lot has one device, one computer that can do that scanning, and it's otherwise occupied. And right, anyway. Isn't that what? Didn't we learn that somewhere? They had to, and yeah.
Well, I mean, it is otherwise occupied because they've been re-releasing a bunch of movies, and that's a legitimate thing to do.
Yes,
but...
absolutely.
Still, buy one more to machine.
I know they're trying to sell themselves, but I feel like they can afford another conversion computer.
Yeah.
You know. This is the kind of thing that if I had the unlimited funds, I'd be like, I'm going to buy one of those.
Why can't Elon Musk do money to that instead of putting it all towards being an asshole?
You'd think.
I know. It's like, yeah. Anyway. So, on that note, Star Trek connection anyway, because of course Elon Musk was the indicator that Lorca was from the Mirror Universe. Katie, thank you so much for joining us today. If listeners want to find you online to continue the conversation, where can they do that?
Yes, you can find me at weather_Katie on all the social medias and also on YouTube as So Many Random Fandoms. I'm also on Star Trek and Chill pretty much every Friday night, and it's through Virtual TrekCon, and we have a blast. You can also find me at most conventions because I have been going to a lot, and I think last year I got 10. This year I'm going to 12.
Wow.
And
Nice.
it's because Battle Creek, Michigan is apparently the best place to camp out and set yourself up to go to cons. Because there's Grand Rapids Comic-Cons, because they have 2 every year. There's Capital City Comic-Con, Motor City Comic-Con, which has 2 every year now. Columbus Con, Indy Con, Chicago has all of them. And then, just flying to San Diego Comic-Con and Star Trek Las Vegas. Details.
I will see you in
Well,
Vegas.
Woo, let's go.
Lucky buggers.
You should join us.
I skipped last year, so now I'm like, I gotta go.
I would
this
if I
year.
could. This year I can't, even if we had the money, because we're dog sitting for my sister and her husband, who are
Aw.
going to Chicago for something. Anyway,
I do have at Star Trek Las Vegas, we have the Science Quiz Show with myself, Dr.
Ooh.
Muhammad Noor, and Dr. Anne-Marie Siegel, which we've done at Virtual TrekCon before. I handle the physical sciences, and then there's biology and all this other stuff. And yeah, we're going to be IRL, and
Nice.
we'll have prizes, and y'all
Ooh.
should come to our Science Quiz Show.
all right. So everybody pencil that into your calendar for Star Trek Las Vegas.
Yes. Come find us.
All right.
I'm very easy to find. Mostly I'm just loud, so you can find me.
That's all right. That's all right. All right. Thad, where can people find you when you're not picking out the appropriate sweater to wear to the Traveler Temple?
I can mostly be found on Twitter. I am at Tyrannicus. That's Tyranicus. I'm also on a bunch of the other social networks that has sprung up. You can also hear me on the podcast I do with my friend Carl called License to Spiel. That's license spelled with a C, like the British do it, where we started out talking about James Bond, and now we're talking about other movies and TV shows that we want to watch. And similar to Katie, I will be at some cons this summer. You can catch me at Shore Leave in Pennsylvania in a couple weeks, and immediately after that, Star Trek Las Vegas.
Woo!
Chrissie, where can people find you when you're not being a badass in a tank top? Which
Yes.
you're apparently doing right now, actually.
I am. It's like 80 some odd degrees here right now, and I don't have the air conditioner on, so yes. My arms aren't as good as Janeway's.
Aww.
Gotta work on
Chakotay's.
that. Or Chakotay, yes, or Chakotay's. Right. So you can, in addition to here on Infinite Diversity, of course, you can not find me at any cons this year, unfortunately. But
Ooh.
if you're in the Mid-Michigan area, you could take a history class with me,
Woo!
in which I will make Star Trek jokes. But
Excellent.
right. There is History with the Szalagyis, that twice weekly history short podcast I do with my fellow historian partner Jason here on the BQN. And I'm happy to chat about our shows in the collective on Facebook and in our Discord server. And I am on the various socials as the Goddess Livia, that's TheGoddessLivia, where you can see my opinions about Star Trek history and leftist politics. You're good.
Don't forget all our other shows on BQN. Here's Amy Nelson to tell you all about them.
What shows are on BQN, you ask? Well, here's a rundown of some podcasts you might be interested in. All Good Things, a Star Trek Universe podcast covering all of Trek, hosted by Amy, Mark, Christos, Kelvin, and Kristen. Whether you've got Xbox or Nintendo, check out Bargain Bin Gamer, a YouTube show hosted by Davey, a self-proclaimed gamer who specializes in reviewing and showcasing affordable video games. 2 episodes enter the arena, 1 comes out victorious. Join hosts Joe and Kevin and a guest as they debate which should win the Batleth battle. Grab your popcorn as you listen to Cinema Z, a film discussion and review podcast showcasing films you probably missed but should definitely check out. Hosted by Mark and Matt. Don your apron for The Food Replicator, where Matthew eats and drinks his way through the Star Trek cocktail and 3 cookbooks. Beam Aboard Galaxy Class, a Star Trek Next Generation podcast covering all of TNG, hosted by Steven. In order to not repeat it, listen to History with the Szalagyis, a snippet of historical events from around the world, hosted by Chrissie and Jason. For the newest Trek coverage, check out Infinite Diversity, hosted by Chrissie and Thad. Curl up with a good book and delve into Beta Canon with Peter, host of the online Trek Book Club on Twitter, and his new companion, Trek Book Club podcast. Test your Trek knowledge with Treksperts Quiz, a Star Trek quiz show hosted and written by Davey. Whether you're a member of Starfleet Federation or Planetary Union, go check out Union Federation, covering current Star Trek and the Orville, which we all know is really a Trek show, hosted by Kyle, Kevin, Amy, and Haley. Head over to YouTube and watch The View Screen live on Sundays, your Trek-inspired talk show hosted by Kelvin and Amy, with Season 2 starting in September for a 10-week run. Spill the tea with Christos while he discusses current Trek news and events and explores the world of fandom via guest interviews, all with a LGBTQIA+ perspective on What's the Tea Bev. And for our Patreon members, we have The Hive Mind with monthly script readings, Let's Fly, a Discovery reaction show, It's Green, a cornucopia of topics, Amy's Math Moments, a quick look at math moments in Star Trek. We know you have a choice of podcasts to choose from, and we thank you for listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
All right. Thank you, time traveling Amy. And thank you so very much for tuning into Infinite Diversity. Thanks to Zach Tripp for the wonderful theme music and Mark White for the awesome show art. Please subscribe in your favorite podcast player and don't forget to rate and review us there as well.
If you want to reach out, you can also find the network on Twitter at BQN Podcasts, or our show specifically at IDIC Podcasts. We're also on Blue Sky. You can also talk about any and all of the BQN podcasts in our Facebook group, the BQN Collective, and in our Discord. When you next hear from us, we'll be talking about the next few episodes of Prodigy. Until then, peace and long life.